because last time you were on, which was 2 years ago now,
I know,
Easter 2017. I was a bit different last time. We went out for like Mexican food and drinks and shots and tequila and everything.
Yeah. Sounds amazing.
He's working now though, isn't he? It's a school night technically.
Coffee and water tonight, boys.
Yeah.
But I mean, you told a story about how you played at his funeral.
Yeah.
Either side of I listened because I listened back to the episode because like, what did we talk about?
Yeah.
But I mean, that must have been.
It was emotional. It was mixed emotions, really. It was more of a huge honor because before Wiz died, he planned his whole funeral. I mean, can you imagine doing that with his wife, Caroline?
Yeah.
And he particularly requested me and Chris, my brother Chris, to play Icy Red, a Fury UK song, at his funeral.
Yeah, it would be difficult to get through.
It was incredibly difficult, but I'm so honored that he wanted us to do that.
Yeah.
It was amazing, really amazing, and very emotional.
I was hoping that someone was going to be able to carry on WizFest
in
his name, because it just worked.
Yeah, they did 1 year of it where they did a tribute to Wiz, which was last year, and we actually played it in my band Babylon Fire.
Yep.
And it was equally busy and all of that kind of business, but it kind of felt weird as well. There was a beautiful photograph of him above the stage, and there was at one point in the evening where I was just stood there, I was watching the band, and then my eyes started drifting, I started looking up, and then next news, like, I'm streaming, you know, because I was just, I had the honour of meeting Wiz quite a few times, and he was always a complete gent to me.
I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys got to play WizFest a couple of times.
Yeah.
We did as well. We got added as a last-minute thing one year. I think it was 2013, because I had a cancellation from a Swedish band or something, and we were like first or second band on the bill, but it was phenomenal for us.
It's full from the minute it starts to the end, so it doesn't matter when you play.
No,
it's
exactly.
Like, it's very rare.
How often do you get that? Exactly. Yeah,
and everyone was so enthusiastic. But that's what I love about it. We were in Belgium last week playing, and it's the same vibe. Like the European fans are just amazing, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're really into their live music, and they love British bands and artists, don't they? They've got this. But I remember, I listened to the episode back. I was telling you about how the first time I actually met was at SOS 2014. I was there the year. We weren't playing, but I was there for press because we'd just been signed and we had our album coming out and everything.
Yeah.
And Wiz just came up to me and went, "Hello, you are playing WizFest next year." He wasn't asking me; he was telling me. I said, "Okay."
We're going to Belgium, boys.
But I mean, what do you say to that? You can't say no, can you?
Yeah.
Certainly not.
But fantastic.
Yeah.
So while we've got you, so what is this current status with Babylon Fire then? How long has it been since you've done some shows?
The last shows we did were the tribute to Wiz in Belgium last year, just about a year ago, in April last year.
Yeah.
We did the night before we played De Willik to Heast, which I'm guessing all you guys played as well.
Yeah.
And then that was with Vice, and then on the Saturday we did the actual the tribute to Wiz.
Yeah.
They were the last shows that we did, but it was kind of weird because the main reason why Babylon sort of took a break, if you like, is we just put a record out, which we were incredibly proud of, and we came off stage from our album launch, which was a huge success, and one of our key members, Rick, who's like one of my best friends for my whole life, me and him put the band together, whereas the rest of us said that was the best sort of hour and a half of our lives, it was amazing, and it went too quick. He was like, that was the worst hour and a half of my life. Long story short, soon after that, he had to go into hospital. He nearly lost his arm. He had to have 3 major surgeries. He said, carry on, go out, play without me. And I just didn't feel like I could without him because he's such a big part of the band.
Yeah.
So then, obviously, we'd already been booked to do these shows in Belgium. So we got Tom from Vice, or Aki as he's better known.
Yeah.
He filled in on bass, and actually it worked really well. We still got Rick to come with us because he does a lot of the vocals, so it was kind of weird. People were calling us Babylon Park or Linkin Fire whilst we were there. But it worked. It was different, but it worked. So yeah, as Babylon Fire, we're not really doing anything. We did put a record out end of 2017 that I'm incredibly proud of, but I guess it just kind of feels like, with the way things have gone, that as Babylon Fire, it's coming to a natural end. Whether I can't say we've finished, but I can't say we're carrying on. I do still get together with the guys and jam, mostly for fun. the last jam we did, I think we did like side 1 of Live After Death by Iron Maiden, plus like Wake Up Dead and Megadeth, throwing in some classic thrash tunes, and just for the sheer love of why we all started playing in the first place.
Yeah.
So
how's Rick doing?
He's much better. I'm actually playing with him later on today. We're doing a gig at Whittle's. It's known as the All-Star Jam.
Of course.
But no, yeah, we're doing that. We're doing about 18 tunes, so he's all right. He's good. He's a fighter. I always said. I mean, to think that he could have actually lost his arm. That's how serious it was. And when they were talking to him about treating him, they were saying, look, the procedure we're going to do, it's got a success rate, but it also carries a risk of stroke or death. And I'm just like, I couldn't even imagine it.
No.
And I just made sure I was there for him every single week. But one of the first things I said to him is, he's one of the strongest people I've ever met in my life. He's such a fighter. And if anyone can beat it, he can. 3 major surgeries later, and he's getting there.
He's able to. But what was the issue? What was it?
Long story short, he was born with an extra rib, which during doing something, it cut off the blood supply to the main artery in his arm. And
without him really knowing.
Without him knowing, he was in a lot of. He was having issues with his arm, and he kept going to the doctors, and they kept fobbing him off, telling him it was repetitive strain and that kind of thing.
They kept telling him what it wasn't.
Yeah. Eventually, funnily enough, the day after we did the album launch show, because he was in such a bad way, he went to A&E, and it was a young junior doctor there who said, right, I'm telling you now, there's no way on God's earth that's repetitive strain. I believe it's this thing called thoracic rib, but you need to get it checked out. And when they finally checked him, the main artery in his arm was clotted for 6 months. He basically had a dead arm.
Jesus.
The only thing that kept it alive was incidental ventricles, or whatever they call it.
Right.
So yeah, that's how serious it had gotten, basically.
I can't believe that.
I know, yeah.
He's just so much a trooper he is.
He is, yeah. I mean,
he's such a good laugh and all, isn't he?
I know, he's great. He's great.
So, you don't eat meat anymore?
Yeah, I've gone veggie.
How has this come about?
Well, I'll be completely honest. I got a new girlfriend that
I knew that was going to be the answer.
I knew it. Quite a few people are aware of.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
Top answer.
Yeah, it was. But however, I'll try and explain the full story so I
Go
don't
for it.
seem
We've got plenty of time.
completely lame.
This is the place
Right,
to explain
but,
things.
Yeah, new girlfriend's Becky Baldwin.
Yeah,
who's
awesome bass player.
Also bass player.
Can you imagine the bass baby? Jesus. Wow.
The fusion of that.
Imagine
man.
that kid gets like 7 and goes, I want to play piano, Dad.
No. No. Yeah. It's like, no. You got a freaking migraine going on here.
Anyway.
So yeah, we got together quite about 5 or 6 months ago or so, and obviously everyone kind of knows I was very much a meat eater, and Becky's a vegan, so that was quite. There weren't any arguments or anything. It was just mainly her educating me a bit, and I don't know.
She's showing you like horror videos on YouTube.
It's like documentaries of people dying after meat or something. No, it was never anything that extreme, because the first few months of us dating, I was still eating meat and everything. But you know, the more time we spent together, I'd cook her meals, she'd cook me meals, and I wasn't gonna cook one meal for me, one meal for her, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I just cooked us both a vegan meal, which at first I was very scared of.
So have you just stopped eating meat, or are you vegan as well?
I'm not a vegan. I'm just a veggie.
Right,
so
okay.
I still eat cheese. I still
Yeah,
eat
yeah.
dairy and eggs and everything. It just felt right as well. And I don't know. I don't feel like I'm missing it that much.
Okay.
Because I still eat. You know, there's all the veggie meats. You know, the fake meats and everything.
Must be like a bit healthier, especially on tour.
Yeah, it is.
Usually
I mean,
that's when your diet goes all over the tits up, because
exactly. And
certain places are only open at certain times, and you're just like, well,
exactly. I'm avoiding processed stuff.
Well,
and
so
all,
that
which
can only
is
be good.
just- yeah, exactly. So all the packets of
pre-packaged all.
pre-packaged meats and all
Yeah.
that, so I don't touch any of that. But yeah, it just feels right at the moment, and I'm not gonna lie, she definitely gave me a push
Yeah.
to that
But you
direction.
didn't need much of a push.
But it did. I know I didn't, and I do feel better for
I was
it.
going to say, what change have you noticed mainly?
I don't know really. I feel I feel the same. I mean, I'm quite an energetic guy anyway.
Has it affected
but
your weight at all?
People think I've lost weight. I mean, I think I have, but I haven't. It's hard to tell because I do more weightlifting rather than cardio or anything.
Yeah.
So it's hard to gauge weight.
Yeah.
Because obviously muscle weighs heavier than fat.
You're just sort of maintaining, aren't you?
So I've not noticed. I've not gone fatter. I've not become really skinny.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of happy in that way. So yeah, it just. It's
How long have you been doing that now?
Not long. I've classed myself as a full veggie for a little under a month.
Okay.
But I've been eating less and less meat
Anyway.
over the last 4 months or something
Right,
like that.
okay.
So yeah, at the moment it feels right for me. So, but yeah, she did give me the push.
Yeah, and well, speaking of which, she's doing really well.
She's doing very, very well.
She's always
yeah.
been doing well, to be honest. She's always got stuff going on.
She's always been in great bands. Always been very, very busy. She does all sorts. She's got a rock school in Bristol. Yeah, she's out. She did a gig with Hands Off Gretel, which seems to be her main band at the moment.
I think so. Yeah,
Doing very, very
She's
well.
doing not so much with. Is it Dorja?
She does Dorja, but it's difficult with them because they're all
of
spread
out,
across the
aren't they?
world. Yeah,
Like one of them's in LA or something, isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly.
Yeah,
The singer. Yeah, so
yeah.
that makes it a lot, cost
Yeah.
difficult and
Yeah.
logistics. But they are planning things. They've got. I think they just released a new single quite recently, and
It does make it more
talking
difficult to
it.
plan logistically.
Yes,
You've got to do
absolutely.
things in a block at a certain time. You can't
Exact-
do bits
just
and
do.
bobs.
Oh, I've got this gig next week.
We've got one gig in Wales next week. Like, no, it's not
Yeah.
gonna work.
It doesn't quite work, but they're great. I love Dorja. They played SOS once, and I saw them there acoustically and full electric. They're great, and
So-
she's also in Fury as well. Band called Fury,
right.
which
I was going to say that used to be your first band.
I know people are like, "Hang on, so she replaced you?" No. Let's let's backtrack a bit. Let's go to story time, everyone.
Actually, no. She's always been like busy. Like there's
Exactly.
always so much stuff
Yeah.
going. I mean, she was on the show. Did you know?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
But it didn't. It was on Skype, and it was like that's one of the reasons why we don't do Skype or phone interviews anymore because they're just.
was it just not as?
Well, there's a bit of a delay, and the quality's not as great, and the conversations are never as good as like being sat in front.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it was a bit of a risk, but I just one day I said, right, people are coming to me, otherwise it's not happening.
Yeah.
So-
yeah. I mean, you've got such a sweet setup here. As
Well, we have
so,
now. It's
yeah.
taken us a while to get to this. We've upgraded pretty much everything as we've gone along, but yeah,
But
quite
yeah, I
great.
mean, when I came here, it was like number 6 or
7, I
something.
think it was 7. Yeah,
So it
yeah,
was
Easter.
quite early on,
I think
so-
it was Easter weekend of 2017.
So, are you up to? You're in
This
like
is
your
50.
50s.
This is
yeah?
51.
51.
51 now. So
Cool.
coming up 2.5 years.
Excellent.
So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're here to talk about you.
I know. I'm sorry, but I've missed you, Mark. I've missed both of you.
I missed you too, man. I missed you too. We'll have a hug later.
Bit of bromance off the camera.
Yeah. So, what has Absolver got planned? Are they doing new music or
What
was the last release?
Yes. Last release was, when did we release it? I think it was the beginning of last year. It was Defiance, it was called.
Oh, is it? Yeah, because with you guys, there's always someone doing so many different things at the same time.
Yeah.
I can't keep up.
I don't even think we can. Sometimes.
These Appletons need like a GPS map. Like one's here,
Yeah.
one's in this, one's in Germany, one's in Belgium, one's in the UK, one's gone all the way over to the US, one's back in Belgium. He's doing a promotional tour. He's filming a video. He's at home now.
It could happen. That's a good idea, actually. Let's approach Apple about this.
So for this like tour for you for the acoustic album, you've had the world's best roadie, as in your mum.
Only on this weekend, though.
Okay.
Only this weekend. Yes, she's been a trooper, an absolute star. Yeah,
She knows what
been
she's
driving.
doing.
Yeah, she's done it a few times now. I mean, she used to come out with Fury UK a lot on the bigger tours. when we supported
Yeah.
Y&T and Saxon, she used
Yeah.
to join us a lot. But yeah, she's great. She's been helping me. Rock Sector HQ, we call it.
Yeah.
And she's been helping me a lot with merchandise and everything. Because this is my first release, Usually with iSturf, Absolver, Fury UK, I've never really had to worry about anything else apart
No.
from writing the music and playing the shows. So
Yeah, a bit more involved this time.
this is 100%
It's your baby.
me. It is my baby, and I'm
Yeah.
very, very proud of it. But I've had a lot of guidance and help from both my parents.
Yeah, because really, as all you've been doing lots of stuff with other bands, this is sort of the beginning of this journey for you, isn't it? Really?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've got a little head start because being associated with
Yeah.
Absolver and iSturf, I've got some good contacts,
Yeah.
some great promoters all over the world. Wanting me over to play for them. So that was kind of my goal. I only wanted to go to places that I knew I would please the fans and people would be excited for me to go to.
Yeah.
So that sort of does limit to a certain degree, but my tour schedule's looking very healthy at the moment, so I'm very happy.
It's quite an extensive tour.
Yeah, I mean, it's spread out. It's in between tours with Absolver and Blaze, and whenever I Stuff get up and running, I'm going to have to, schedule it around that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm very happy with it's. The beginning is looking very promising, so it only can go
imagine,
better.
Like, this whole tour that you're doing now, you could put on top of it for leg 1.
Exactly. Yeah. This is just the beginning,
Of
folks.
4.
Yeah. This is only a quarter.
Have you been over to the US with anyone else other than Erstith?
Erstith.
I've just made up a new band for you. There you
That's
go.
a new one,
That's
that.
their anagram.
I've had a lot. I've had a lot of frozen planets and ice girth. Never that one though.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. Well, while we've got you here, Lynn, we might as well talk about
Yes.
SOS.
Yep.
So this year's SOS is what weekend is it? What are the dates?
It's the 12th, 13th and 14th of July.
And this is the 11th.
12th.
12th
this year,
year.
yeah.
Bloody hell.
12.
So who are your 3 headliners?
We've got the Choir Boys this year on
Yeah.
the Friday. We've got a Joker's Rage on the Saturday. They're coming
Amazing.
back. Through popular demand, they're
Yes.
coming back because they're great live, as you
Yeah.
know. And Sunday we've got the Australian band Massive.
Oh, yes.
They're good, heavy fueled
Yeah.
rock band. They're coming over.
Yeah.
They're on a big tour over here, and they asked if they could play. So we said, yeah, we'll give you the Sunday headlines.
One
so
of my
looking
favourite
forward to that.
One of my favourite things about SOS
sorry.
is the your press room. I like the press room.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's a good idea because sometimes when you play somewhere where they've got for the press isn't always ideal,
Yes.
or it's a
yeah.
bit last minute makeshift. Whereas yours is, it's a press room. That's what it's for. Just go, basically just go around.
Just go around. Yeah, it's
Just do your circuit.
it's grown as well over the years. It's quite a lot more
actually-
press.
I actually found it because when I first went, I hadn't done too much of that. It's really good for because you do a lot one after the other. You kind of get used to asking similar questions.
Yeah.
You actually end up coming up with good answers by the end of it.
Yes.
Your first few are a bit like, that was all right. By the end of it, you're like, yes, well.
Can we
Yeah.
redo all this?
Yeah.
We
Like,
try.
Pull up
we
a chair.
we try and look after the bands as well as we can.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we try and give them as much help as we
coverage
can.
and everything, yeah.
Coverage and, you
Yeah.
know, we give them as much information. They're all fed and watered. They
Yeah.
all, you know, they all get merch space as well. So
Yeah.
they're all...
Beer and food tokens.
Yes, beer and food vouchers.
Yeah.
So
It's like a currency in there. Have you got any?
Yeah.
Well, we're going now. We can't stay. You come sit buy these. But
yeah, we
nice.
have a lot of press attend, so it's good.
Yeah.
It's good for the bands, good coverage for them. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of people from abroad come
Yeah.
as well. Loads
You
of
get invaded by
punters.
Belgium.
Well, Belgium. This year we've got Americans coming as well, Canadians,
Nice.
Switzerland. You know, we've spread the word spread
Yeah.
about us, even though we're only a little small independent festival.
How are you finding the new venue then?
I think it's better than the old one, isn't it?
Taking a
Much
while to sort of get
better.
used to it.
I think
but-
so. Yeah, the first year, we were crossing bridges we'd never crossed before, kind of thing.
Yeah.
There was it's not on ground level. There isn't that little garden outside.
I did used to love
people
that.
like.
Outside
Yes,
the-
yeah.
I
that
mean,
was brilliant, that.
for an atmosphere point of view, it was great, but it kind of, you had a lot of more people outside sometimes.
Well,
rather
there was
than
that,
watching the
especially
band.
when it was nice and the
Yeah.
weather was
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah,
and a lot
yeah.
of people
And
outside.
there's just a little advantages with the room. The bar's in the same room as
Yes.
the stage.
Yeah.
Just there's a few things. The dressing rooms are bigger. There's more access. The loadings.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got a real tight ship now. We've got a lot of really great volunteers helping us out, and the sound guys and everything who are running the main stage and the acoustic stage
Yeah.
do really, really well.
You pretty much had the same team for a good few years
It's
now,
been-
haven't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
we
much.
have a lot of volunteers help
Yeah.
us, same lot, and they also give input to who they want to see. And we've got a regular amount of people that come every year as well.
Yeah.
Regulars who always give us input.
Is the venue capacity similar?
Yeah, it's the
very-
same. Yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
the same.
What
yeah.
is the maximum you could probably have?
I think it's 500, isn't it?
Yeah,
Perfect. Which is that's
think
what
legally,
that's what Whizfest is,
Yeah.
isn't it?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's just the right amount.
Yeah.
That's
It
just
is.
right.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, the hall. I mean, if you really, it's a big hall. You
It
know, You
is.
could fit a lot more people in, but
Well, so you've got your
obviously
merch
for fire
and your-
exits and merch and
The sound and
then
everything.
bands and everything. So
Plus
you've
your
got to
acoustic stage and all that.
Exactly.
I like
Yeah.
the way that works. That acoustic thing is great
Yeah.
to fill while the
Exactly.
changeover. But it's not just a filler because you have some really great
Yes.
people
Yeah,
playing some
Yeah, we
great
do.
songs.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
have some great people.
Sometimes
on
you
the
get
acoustic
people
stage.
playing who you didn't expect to be doing acoustic. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't even thought about them doing acoustic.
Yeah.
This will be
Absolutely,
interesting.
yeah.
I think that's like the first time I saw you play and Chris play, probably
Yeah,
back
that'll
in the
be
day.
Right. We thought, there's one slot left, and we were both there, and we're like, let's do this.
Yeah,
and
why
try
not?
it.
And sometimes you get bands collaborating. And all this
That's
stuff and
right.
do-
Yeah, and
I
we're
love
three,
stuff like that.
We're 3 days now. I mean, we started 12 years ago, and we were just one stage, one day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we just had an eclectic amount of bands on. But now we seem to have grown and grown and grown, and now we're 3 days
So
over.
when you started, what was the idea? Where did it come from? What was the whole aim of it?
It was just a random sort of thing. There wasn't many festivals going on then. You know,
Yeah.
Since then, everybody seems to have sprung up with an idea or a
Mm.
festival. But in those days, there wasn't many festivals for underground bands. So it was sort of a collaboration of ideas with Rock Sector, myself and
Yeah.
Mark. We all said, why don't we put on an all-dayer? And it worked straight away. It was just so well received by local
Yeah.
people and local radio. And
Yeah.
at the time, Rock Radio had just produced, they just
Came out.
formed Rock Radio.
Right, yeah.
Rock Radio in Manchester. And they were on board with it. They came along. Paul Anthony was there. He's now gone to Planet Rock.
Right.
And it was just a really good buzz, a good vibe about it all.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of coverage, a lot of coverage in the local papers, radio, lots of other outlets, seemed to latch onto it.
Get on board.
Everybody seemed to get on board with it and really had a good fun day with it.
Where did the name come from? Or was there many names that you struggled to
Well,
choose?
it was my idea. It's school's out for summer, really. So that's
I didn't know that.
yeah, not many people do.
No.
Should have that little words above underneath
Yes.
the letters.
Yeah,
Well,
we
the
did.
first
The
one
first
did.
one did.
The
Didn't
first
it?
one
Okay.
did. Yeah.
It
so
was.
It doesn't. It's irrelevant now. It's just
Yeah.
it's its own thing
Just
now,
that's-
isn't it?
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
it is its own thing. Yeah.
But in a way, like, it was an SOS cry because people needed that kind
Yeah.
of festival.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it kind of works in that way as well. But it's just taken on a life of its own,
yeah.
isn't it?
Luke actually played the first one, didn't you?
Yeah.
with
In
his-
my-
What when you were about 10?
pretty much it was my.
His little school
It
uniform.
yeah. I think I may have even done that as well. Just came straight from school. So, I was very, very young, and it was my original band, Breakdown. They were called.
Yeah, so 12
Yeah.
years ago you were
Yeah.
12.
I was 12. So yeah. Yeah. There
Oh,
you
God,
go.
that makes me feel old.
And it was great because the drummer, he was only a little lad like this, and he'd sit behind the drums, and you couldn't see him. You just couldn't see him. He was just
You go, wow, these
surrounded
drums,
by
we've got these drums that play
Yeah.
themselves.
sticks
They're
that were
amazing.
waving around,
Yeah.
And he was only 10 or 11. He was actually younger than me, and we were playing it. And Heaven's Basement were headlining.
Right.
And then we did that, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we'll have them play with us again." And I think we did another show with them at the Towler. I think did we do that?
Yeah.
We did, and so that kind of sparked that little relationship. But yeah, I still see those guys, and we don't do anything anymore now. But that was our first band together, just a 3-piece rock band kind
Yeah.
of thing. Wrote some of our own stuff, did 2 EPs, but covering all sorts of Velvet Revolver, Megadeth, and
Yeah.
Thin Lizzy. Just a nice wide range. Such a fun time. And then got to play SOS for the first one, and
It's just
12 years.
gone from strength to strength, hasn't it?
Yeah,
We didn't think it'd last this long.
No,
Yeah.
I guess you wouldn't know. But it's like now, does it take much of your time overall when it comes to the actual just the festival? Like, I know you've got loads of other
Well,
stuff.
seeing as everybody else is on tour all of the time, it takes all of my time. Yes. Yeah.
But
What do you
like,
mean?
about
What are you on
booking-
about?
who does most of the correspondence with the bands and booking the bands and all that?
Me.
Okay, there you go.
There's no lie when I say Queen SOS.
But needs must.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean-
I do have help from other
Yeah. I
volunteers.
suppose you got to give a shout out to people like Paul Lord.
Paul Lords, yeah, he's a big one.
is
Definitely
the
for
Lord.
the
Yes.
weekend.
Oh, he's the man.
He's
Yeah,
the
stage
Paul.
manager usually.
I always watch him whenever we're playing over there, because when like stuff's going on, you say, "Oh, he's there."
Yeah,
Oh, no, he's
there
over
you
there now. Oh, he's down there. He's putting tape on.
He's
this.
usually. I was
down
going to say
there.
he's
Oh,
usually
pulling
got.
that- oh, he's on the
usually got a
roof
roll
now.
of gaffer.
He's just like everywhere.
Yeah,
Like-
Tony at the venue helps a lot as well
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
flyering, because when he goes out flyering for the venue, he takes
Yeah.
my flyers as well
Yeah.
and posters and banners. We do it old school way, not
Yeah,
just, not just Facebook and social media. We do old school.
There's a lot to be said for that. I mean, we
promoting.
always used to get a bunch off you, and we do on our merch
Yes,
table.
yeah.
The few months leading up to it, we'd always have that
Yeah.
on it as
Yeah.
well.
Of course, and we're at other festivals. We're going
Yeah.
to Call of the Wild, so we'll take a bunch of flyers.
Absolutely,
And we're at Breaking Bands, so we'll
Yeah.
take flyers there as well.
and
But
vice versa. As
we
well.
do
Yeah.
we do
Yeah,
do
yeah.
social media as well.
Well, you've got to, haven't you? Yeah.
But banners all over the district and posters and stuff.
Not many people do that these days, do they? The old school approach.
No,
Well, they might
It's a
do a
lot-
little bit of it, but
It's a lot of social media.
yeah, yeah.
it is
Yeah.
a lot of social
I mean,
media.
it's great to have. It's a great tool to have, but yeah, you need
can't
to
rely
keep-
on it.
You
No.
need to keep that old
No.
school, because just people just forget, and there's so much going on. It's
Well,
good
word
to
of
just
mouth.
have it in your
Word
face.
of mouth
yeah.
still exists.
Exactly,
so-
yeah.
Of course it does, yeah. And we do radio, local radio, and
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
different areas we do radio. And
Yeah.
everybody that comes to the festival, we ask them to put it on their page or their
Yeah.
webzine or whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
Magazines, we advertise in Power Play and other magazines. We put ads in there, so it's not just let's put a festival on and do it on social media.
Yeah, which some people tend to they just rely on it, don't they?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there's only so much you can do. You can't beat the personal
No,
touch
no.
where you actually.
And I do
meet
ask for
people.
help from regulars, that come.
Yeah.
If you go into any big shows, can you take a bunch of
Yeah.
flyers with you? And they do.
Yeah.
Somebody was at a girls' school gig the other night. Somebody is going to a Whitesnake gig. They'll
Yeah.
take flyers and hand them out.
Yeah.
So, bunch of people are going to download. So,
Yeah, just even people like wearing the t-shirts.
yeah, wearing the t-shirt.
It's
Yeah,
just like the brand,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
It's just
the
it's out
brand.
there. Yeah.
I should have had it on today. I've got yours on instead.
Can you settle for second best? Is that right?
It's all in the land of Appleton, so it's all good. It's all good. Appleton, back in Appleton Towers.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. I remember that the couple of times I've been there, like in the hall, it's like stacks of merchandise
Yeah.
would be blazed or absorbent boxes of this and that. And it's like, oh, we've got to sort all these out.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, in fact, the 2 times I have been there, it's just been you on your own. It's like, where is everybody?
Or just on tour. Just on tour. Well, she's happy we've all moved out now. Well, apart from her husband, yeah, he stayed.
No, yeah.
His home is his van, though.
Spends more time in the van than anywhere else.
Got more
So-
bedrooms to put merch in now.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, you couldn't go home if you wanted to now.
No, it's done now. One's an office and the other's a storage room.
Well, it's good. It's been needed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So much merchandise. I mean, just Blaze alone.
Yeah.
I mean, he does a lot of stuff. The last time I was there, it was towels. Pink. Was it pink towels?
Red.
Red towels.
Red
And
towels.
they're like
yes.
it was like a new thing,
Yeah.
but apparently they sold well. So
Yeah.
Sold out.
sold out. There you go.
Oh yeah.
I thought you got a bit of a raw deal. You were hardly in it.
No, well I wasn't.
There was a couple of times when you would go, and then it would just cut somebody.
Yeah, it was either my story wasn't dramatic enough, or I didn't do like I just didn't.
You were
mess
just in
up
the middle.
enough. I just kind of kept my head down.
You
and
just
kept,
got
like,
on with
going
it.
on.
And you're like, oh, I should have done that one. Well done. And
Yeah.
then obviously, I guess the interrogation. That's when things change. But
That's
I
when
haven't got that far yet.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No, that's when I had my moment a little bit more to
Yeah.
kind of like show it. But no, it did. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so hard, but it was so good.
How did that whole thing come about then?
My boyfriend's was an ex-Royal Marine.
Right.
So I just kind of wanted to know what he'd been through and put myself in his shoes for a bit, because I've no idea about the military life at all. So that, and I wanted to challenge.
Because did you already do CrossFit before that?
Yeah. So I did like a competition called Tribal Clash in Portugal. It's a team of 6, 3 girls, 3 boys. We did it again, just last week.
Yeah.
So that was what initially started the whole thing. Did really well in there, and then I just like wanted that kind of like feeling again of like
Being
really
pushed.
pushing yourself, out of your comfort zone and like seeing what happens, because like amazing things happen when you're not in that comfort
Well, you
zone.
learn as well, don't you?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
And you learn so much about yourself.
So
yeah.
did you just fill in an online thing and then?
Yeah, so I didn't realise that girls could go on. It's the first time this year.
Yeah.
So
you just applied anyway without even knowing that?
No, so I looked. I just came across it randomly 3 days before the deadline finished. And I was like, yes, this is amazing. So I filled it all in. And it was super. It took me 3 days because it was so...
I can imagine it would be extensive.
Yeah, and very deep questions like, what's your biggest fear? What's your biggest regret in life? What's made you go on the show? And so it took ages. I didn't want to mess it up. But then, maybe an idiot, sent it to the wrong place. So I was like,
oh no.
Oh, so I didn't hear anything. And I was like, oh, that's a bit crap, innit? So it came to middle of August, got home from holiday, and then I was like, rang them. I just thought, I was like, have you got my application? They're like, no. And I looked, I was like, oh, I'm really sorry, I sent it to the wrong place. And then they were like, oh, well, we've picked everyone pretty much. We're finalising it on Friday, and it's a Wednesday. So I went to the gym, just did a workout. I thought, I'll forget about it. And then they emailed me and said, can you do a Skype interview tomorrow? So I was like, oh my God.
Someone must have dropped out.
So I don't know what happened. So did a Skype interview, went to a board that day, and then they were like, we want her on. And then I had to go literally do a physical test, a psychological test, a CPAP test, and then
what were they
injections. Definitely not as bad as the show. Definitely not as bad. It was bleep test, so you had to get 10.1, 44.
That must have been the easy bit for you.
I got 11.5 on that, so it was okay. And then press ups was 44 in 2 minutes, and sit ups was 52 in 2 minutes, and then a bit of a farmer carry walk and all sorts of things like that. So yeah, it wasn't too bad, but yeah, it wasn't easy either.
So how long after that did you get word that you were on?
I literally, so then it kept going for a little while. They'd sent me some boots to break in, and then I didn't find out officially that I was going until a week before.
Oh my God.
Well, 8 days. They rang me on the Friday and they were like, you'll meet us at Heathrow Airport a week tomorrow.
How long were you going to be away for?
It depends how long you lasted.
Potentially, if you were.
2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to reorganize some of your stuff.
Yeah.
And go,
yeah. I know. Thankfully, I was working for one person at a time. Didn't have too many contracts stuff going on, and my own farm, so it wasn't too bad.
Right.
But yeah, it was good though because it didn't give me too much time to worry or panic because I was
That's true. You thought
I was going
overthinking it, and then
Yeah.
sort of took yourself out of it. By the
Yeah,
time
exactly. And they didn't tell us where we were going or anything, so you literally got the
Probably for the
airport.
best.
Yeah, and we just found out then that we were going to Chile, and I was like, oh my God, holy cow, this is ridiculous.
So how hard actually was it then, looking back?
Yeah, no, it was ridiculous.
It's probably the most difficult thing you've ever done.
Ever. Not just physically, mentally.
Yeah. Probably just as bad, the mental stuff.
Oh, worse, I think.
Yeah.
Worse. Because you had to learn so much to control your own head. Because so many times I literally just wanted to curl up in a ball and die because it was that bad. But you don't really see it on the telly. It's hard for them to get across the anxiety levels that you have on there.
This was the thing that I thought, because there's only 6 episodes, and I'm on the penultimate one. Mm-hmm. They could have made it 8 or 10.
Oh yeah, so
it's
much.
Typical of TV that they end up cutting out probably a lot of good content.
Yeah.
That helps get the story across more.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of the time.
Exactly. Yeah. So they didn't include half the stuff we did really. What the people don't even see is we get everything taken off us to the point where I had one set of knickers and bra the whole time.
Oh my God.
I had no shower, no hot water. We actually had a flannel and a bar soap and a toothbrush.
Well, these are the conditions.
But yeah, that was the thing, and it just took you all back to complete raw. And that's who you were, and that's all it was. And no hairbrush. My hair was a complete dreadlock.
Well, I think you were tied up.
I had to braid it. I literally was the only way that it was going to manage if I had braided it and left it there.
So was there any sort of conditions where they said you have to do this, you can't do this, or?
In terms of what do you mean?
I don't know. I just thought, did they give you sort of ground rules when you got there?
Oh, I mean, the whole thing's just all ground rules, to the point where you couldn't even to go from the accommodation where we slept to the toilet, which is outside in this little.
Oh, you had to go in your. I thought when you had to go in your pairs.
And we had to run. If they caught
everywhere you had to run. Everywhere it seemed.
Honestly, if they caught you not running, it was a nightmare. They get you beasting you around the bloody yard again. There was all sorts of stupid rules, and everybody had to walk out the accommodation dressed the same. So every time you left the door, everyone was going hats on or hats off, and everyone would be different. And
the last episode I watched, you were always at the door first.
Oh, I made sure I was on. So this is the thing, in life, I am never, ever, ever on time, ever. But I was when I got there, I was no, I'm gonna get outside. Yeah. I'm gonna be there.
I suppose, but being a farmer, you have to be a morning person, don't you?
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
Did you used to not be a morning person?
I've never needed that much sleep.
Right.
But I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily a massive, massive morning person.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't do the dairy farming times all the time.
No. No.
No.
So
that's
what was
seasoning.
the worst challenge for you, or the worst part of it?
Interrogation was the absolute
Okay,
worst.
right.
So it was like 20 hours of that.
20 hours.
Yeah, and it
Jesus.
was just the stress positions look like nothing. Like, and I thought like before I even went, oh, it's not that bad. Like you're just holding your arms out in front of you, but like they starve you, and like 24 hours before you don't sleep for like 24 hours before you go in. They catch you on this mission, so you got this massive adrenaline rush like going on. So I literally got like rugby tackled from the side, and I was like, "What?" I was like, "What's?" I in the pitch black at like 2 a.m. and I was like, "Oh my god, this is insane!" And it's the only time that I couldn't really like justify, like try and tell myself that I wasn't in a TV show. Like
Seemed real then.
It felt so real. Like it just took like control of your whole head. Like it was numb. By the time I came out, I was numb with the noises that they play in your ears. Like so, you had like these things like this on with your mask and that. And it would just be like white noise, so it'd just be like constant one tone. And
That
it
is a test
honestly,
of mental toughness. That.
yeah. And every time like you came out your stress positions, he'd like just come behind you, dig the knee into you, or tap like a pen on your goggles, and
Trying to make you angry and like snap and react.
just trying to
stuff.
make you absolutely break into pieces. Yeah.
It's, sleep deprivation is a big thing that they use in all wars, isn't it?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
it's simple but so effective.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't.
Yeah, I mean that's where I was maybe a little bit okay, because I've never had needed that much sleep, but that was on a different level.
Because if you do it a lot, it can be dangerous.
Yeah,
like you can die from it.
I know. Well, for the real SAS section, they do 36 hours in there, so I mean, like that's nearly double what I did. So
Wow.
they're unreal.
And
They're
I
absolutely
saw
unreal.
that guy who when you were dropping down off the bridge, and
yeah,
that guy hit
Rick.
his backside.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, James has won it himself. Yeah.
Oh
No, that
my
was
God. I was just
that was
like-
so that.
And that guy was gutted that he
I
didn't
know,
stop him.
Rick's
put
so
the brakes on.
lovely as well. Like, and he took it so like personally to heart, and
Yeah.
it was absolutely awful for like a
I
few
think
hours after.
That was part of the. Not I was gonna say the better, but the more real parts of the program where you got to start hearing people's stories of
Yeah.
why they were there.
Yeah.
Like the guy lost his wife and stuff.
yeah,
We didn't want to talk
Mark.
about it.
Yeah, he was lovely. So we didn't know anything about that.
No, but did you
until-
know? I suppose when you got there, that was the first time you meeting anyone.
Yeah, that's the first time I met anybody that was there, and like a lot of people didn't really say that much about their stories. So like Mark never said anything.
Yeah.
So until I came out, I didn't even realise anything.
Right.
And you would never know because he's such a genuinely humble, lovely guy, and he put everybody else before himself.
Yeah.
He was amazing.
So were you watching it when it was aired on TV, going, "Oh, I didn't know that."
Yeah, honestly, like some of the things that you were hearing, I was hearing at the first,
right,
so, like, and it was so weird.
Yeah.
But I was like on edge watching it. Like I had like two gins next to me the whole time, and I was like full on sweating watching it, like absolutely. I was like, oh my god, it was bringing back so many memories.
Yeah.
And I was
So
like,
it's
oh
been
my
about
god.
what 5-6 months before when you did it to when you
it'd
actually
be like-
got to watch it.
Yeah, 4 months I think it'll be. I had to and it was the hardest thing was coming back home and then not really being able to talk to anybody about it either.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we were under this oath that we couldn't tell
You
anyone.
sound like an NDA, like a non-disclosure agreement
yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah.
So you couldn't say anything until it got like announced on TV.
Yeah, and I couldn't even say anything like when the advert came on. It was just like everyone was like,
you
"Are
were
you in the advert?" And I'm
It's
like,
someone
yeah.
someone just like you. I've just seen on TV. Just like you. Have a look.
exactly. And I was like, "Oh, this is so weird." But
So
yeah.
what did you finally do? Did you just go on social media and go, "It's me"?
Yeah, well, in the end, we had a social media page, and we just kind of like we all started put it on. We put it on at the same time on our page to say that
Right.
we were on it and we'd done it, and yeah, we started picking up a little bit of like a storm behind it then.
Did you get you a lot of followers on social media in general?
yeah, I already had quite a lot on Twitter anyway. I think Twitter
Yeah.
I was already on like something like 16.
Yeah, Twitter seems to be
1,000.
your most popular
Yeah,
one.
it's because farming is very big on there.
Ah, right.
With the farmers and with people that want to follow farming, so it's kind of always done really well on there. My Instagram flew up loads. I was only on like 2,000.
Yeah, well, I only followed you a few weeks ago. You were on 14,000. Now you're on over 15,000.
Yeah, just hit 15
I was
this
like,
weekend.
What?
I know, it's weird. It's like random things happen though, and it just like it goes really fast and then it'll slow down.
I think it's because
and
of
then
all
it'll be-
your stories that you put out. Because
Yeah.
you constantly
constantly like Instagramming all day.
on your thing with your dog.
Yeah, I know. Like all the farmers I work for, like, are you doing that again? And I'm like, I'm just showing people a little glimpse of what's going
Yeah.
on. But
Like
that's
I
what
like
they
the
love.
one that you did today about just being able to just go.
Oh
Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
I know. Since I've had the busiest so Lamb finished maybe 2 weeks ago, and the
You need
last
to explain to some people who some people won't have a clue what you're talking about.
what about lambing time?
Yeah, or
Oh.
even what lambing is.
Oh, lambing is when you're literally, you're being like a little sheep midwife, basically, helping
Yeah.
all the lambs be born. So I've been doing like 4 months of that. So probably like over 5,000 sheep have been lambing while I've been working.
Jesus.
So I finally finished 2 weeks ago, and it's like 16-hour days, and it's stupidly knackering. again, that's probably why SAS worked quite well, because you're just so used to like slogging
Being
it all
tired,
day.
just doing stuff all the
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, and then the last 10 days just been like insanely busy of random things, from like the Tribal Clash the fitness competition, and then straight down to London for some meetings, and then straight to Birmingham for Body Power. Like,
So what is
Expo.
what body power? Is that related to SOS?
So it's the SAS. One of the guys at Special Forces guys, Ollie. It's his company,
Right.
which he basically does like a little bit of like a civvy version of the show in 2 days. So if you
Right.
want to go and get beasted and then try like the interrogation process,
You just
then
basically want to try it.
yeah,
Right.
then go there because it's
I bet
brilliant.
that's very popular.
Yeah, he's just
Especially
started
after the
that
show.
one. Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
after the show.
Yeah, and then he does like different other courses. So, like some of them are like more about like learning how to kind of harness your fears, and like it's more kind of, it builds you as a person, more like that. So
Well, they mentioned some of that on the show.
yeah,
About you use your fear as a
Yeah.
good thing, really.
yeah, that's kind of, you've just got to flip it on its head really, and just kind of go with it like that, and not kind of let the fear take over every kind of rational thought that you actually
Yeah.
have. And if you can do that, then you can do so well in it. And
Yeah, because if you can make rational decisions under extreme circumstances,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the aim of the game, isn't it?
yeah, that's exactly what you need to be doing in Special Forces. And
So what was some of the other cast members there, the other contestants?
yeah, so there was
And what were you guys there for? Just to be part of it?
just to be part of it, yeah, just to kind of, some of us do a little bit at Breakpoint at the events anyway, and then it was just kind of meet people, talk to people, get them in
Yeah.
to have a go. We had like a big abseiling thing and,
Yeah.
and a course, and yes, it was really popular. It was so busy.
So the weekend before that, what was the Ibiza thing?
So that was Portugal, and it was in Tribal Clash.
Was
which
that like a CrossFit type thing?
yeah, it's a bit like a CrossFit competition on the beach, like this badass competition on the beach with like 3 men, 3 women, and it's anything from like running, swimming, flipping tires, climbing up ropes,
I
Atlas
looked at
stones.
the page and I just thought, well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard anyway, but it looks boiling hot.
Oh my! It was hot. It was.
That's like wipe you out. Just like
I know, the heat alone is like literally, it kills you, especially when you're not used to it. Especially in Cumbria, we never really get that much heat, do
I
we?
got
Like,
from here to there.
I know, and literally, I came back and I was I was working on a farm the day after, and it was full on, like pissing it down, and I was freezing. I was like, "You joking? I've left Portugal,
I know.
like loving life on the beach, like this fitness stuff that I love, and now I'm running around after sheep in the freezing cold." That's the thing, isn't
done.
it? I
But
know.
that SAS thing, I probably will start watching that all the
Oh
time.
yeah,
now, 'cause
it's so
that's
good.
it's real.
It is real,
It's
and they did
not-
the celebrity version that's just been on. That was
Yeah,
okay.
I saw a bit of that.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was okay.
It was all right.
It was good. It was for charity,
but
wasn't
it
it?
wasn't the
And-
same. It wasn't the same.
No, it wasn't the same.
But like what you've done, that's real people being pushed to their absolute
Yeah,
limits.
and there's no drama. There's no, like, everyone's like, oh, what was it like with the production crew? There was no retake at all. Like,
No, I wouldn't
if they
imagine there
miss
would be.
it, they miss it. Like, if
Yeah.
they don't get it on film, then it's gone. They've
Yeah.
got it. Like,
Can you run all the way back up that mountain and
Yeah.
carrying that thing again, please? Can you jump in
Exactly.
that freezing water again?
I know exactly. And they're like,
Didn't quite catch your face as you did it.
you know. And not at one point did we ever like stop for them or.
No.
And tell you what, they're fit. Like them, for like cameramen were running with us. And I was like, at one point, I was in a bit of a hole dragging this sled, and I was like literally just watching my foot in front of another foot, and it was the only way that I was
Yeah.
getting through it.
Don't
I
look
know-
at don't look at what it's ahead.
Yeah.
Just
And all of a sudden, this cameraman was in front of me, and every time like I was stepping forward, he was stepping back. All I could see was his feet, and I was like, "Can you please get out of my way?" Because like literally stood in the ground that I want to go into. And I can't get it in, like get it out of my head. And I was like, please just get out of my way. And then I just got in like a mood. And I like shoved past him. And I was like, get out of my way.
did you end up talking to them much then?
We weren't allowed any communication with them.
Oh right.
No.
Wow.
I think it was on like the second to last day. Do you know we did the ice? You've seen the ice hole one?
Which
We
was
had to
that?
go under the ice
No.
twice.
No,
We
I've
got
not
a
seen that one.
helicopter up to there because it was really high.
I think I'm just up to that bit.
Yeah, maybe.
I've
Yeah.
not seen it.
And it was just me left to get the helicopter back down, and somebody was talking to me. And then I just heard on the radio, "Can you stop talking to the recruit, please?" I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I'm just
So-
up to that bit where you've just all dropped. There's a big hole in the water. And he
it.
said, "This, you'll die if you don't."
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cold.
So you have to go down one and then out the other.
Twice. Yeah, so
Right.
like down, up, down, up.
So what's the survival technique for that?
Breathe. Just control your breathing.
Don't
And then
don't panic like they did in
Yeah.
that pool.
control your breathing. swim under, and then they asked you loads of questions then to make sure that you were still like
Conscious.
thinking.
Yeah.
Although no, we couldn't answer any of them.
All right.
Like it was like, what colour was the helicopter you flew in? What number was written on the side? And I was like, bollocks. We should have like this is what you're meant to pay attention to in the special forces.
I thought it was just like easy questions and what you're still like complimentary.
Oh my
like,
God,
what
no.
colour's your hair? Green.
I got what did they say to me on mine? He went, who plays for Liverpool Football Club? And I
Couldn't
just
think of a single player.
no. Do you know what I said? Steven Gerrard. I was like, and then I just burst out laughing. This is why I don't put mine on because I laugh too much and I smile.
Yeah, we can't have people enjoying themselves
I
while
know,
doing this. It's not right.
This is my issue. And then I went back down again, and he went, who's the manager for Liverpool Football Club? And I was like, he's German. I was like, I have no idea. And then it's literally like you get out and you roll in the snow to dry yourself off,
That's.
which is weird, isn't it?
Oh, this is nice and warm. This.
Oh, it's so weird.
That's a
but
Bear
it-
Grylls move, that.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like, man, I'm
Bear
freezing. I need to cool off
Yeah.
in the snow.
literally. But it actually weirdly works. And then we had to run then and get changed again. But yeah, mental. But I think I did smile too much on most of the things I did.
You're not supposed to enjoy it.
No, you're going to be like, shitting one. I was a lot of the time. You can nearly
Yeah.
see me cry in the boxing one. I'm in like the corner like this.
Yeah, there was a couple of that where I could see in the background, like obviously something's happened, but we don't know what it is. And
Yeah.
one of them you were either nearly crying, the other one you were like, I thought you were gonna pass out.
Yeah, was that the boxing? Was that all the boxing?
Probably
one?
was, yeah.
Probably was.
Because
Yeah.
it was you were indoor then, inside.
Yeah,
this little
it
hut
would be
thing.
the
You were just
boxing
in
one.
the corner of the wall, just going.
Yeah. So it was like literally after I just watched Louise be like smashed to the ground 3 times by a man, and I was like, oh my god.
Because there is women in the SAS now, isn't there? Or is it just about to be?
So I think they can start applying now.
Yeah,
But it's gonna be a
just been
long
in the
time.
news. I mean, it's just been in the news about they're going to start the whole process to that.
For them to be like in the infantry and on the front line, and it'll take a long time.
There's no reason why not.
There's a whole load of controversial stuff about how it will affect relationships and
always
how
gonna
it
be
will affect
controversy.
heads when they're out there. Will it make people?
That's the same as men, though.
Yeah. My theory in my head is if you put men and women through training together and you put them in teams together, then there should be no difference.
Yeah.
It's maybe if you put women into all men teams that have always been all men, then that's maybe where you'll
The
get
whole
more.
process from beginning to end should be just mixed.
Yeah, if you do that from there, then just keep those teams as the mixed teams. And if women can keep up with the standards that you need to be in there, then there's no reason why they shouldn't. I mean,
No.
I spoke to Sundeep's the doctor, and he'll say how he thinks that like women are mentally ridiculously tough and so strong. Like
Absolutely. Well,
they
like
can deal
things
with
like childbirth that men don't have to deal with.
I know, and just like actually dealing with emotions and dealing with situations like later on after it's happened, they're so much better at actually compartmentalizing it and
Yeah.
moving on.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'll be a long time I think till any woman makes it through that way.
But
But
they will. They will.
I think they will.
The way the world's going,
Yeah.
there's no reason
And it
why.
won't be. It'll be a very small selection of women that do. But it's the same as the men. There's only the
Yeah.
top 5 men in the military. It's
Well, they
5%
keep going on
of
about
men.
all this, banging on about this equality stuff, but it's
Mhm.
like there's just not as many people. There's not as many women
No.
doing it,
No.
so therefore it can't be.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like a lot of these things where they want in certain jobs we want equal men and women, yeah. But then you're just going to end up with you're just going to put
People that aren't
women
doing
in
the job properly.
for numbers who
Yeah.
aren't good enough just because you want it to be the same. That doesn't work.
That's my issue with like equality and all that jazz. Like you forget actually who's the best at the job.
Yeah.
And
Or some like we want more black people doing this, but
Yeah.
what if black people don't want to do it?
yeah.
Don't
No,
don't
what-
just put them in
What
there
if
to
they
make
don't
up the
want to be a
numbers.
policeman, or
Yeah.
what if they don't want to? It's insane.
It's just
Like society's going a bit mental that way. It needs to go back to the fact that actually you need the best person at that job at that time.
just let people do what they want to do.
Yeah,
Like give them the opportunity to do it.
yeah,
But don't just do it for numbers' sake.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
you're just gonna shoot yourself in the foot at
yeah.
some point.
It's so crazy. It's absolutely mental.
Like the SAS will be like that, but they're not going for equality. They're just going
No.
for the best people.
Yeah.
Which is what you should always do.
Yeah, which is like in literally only the top 5% of people.
Yeah. I mean, it will be more. I suppose it'll become more of an achievement for women just because there's less of them doing it.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's a tougher route
Yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
Less opportunity.
And
But
technically, we aren't physically built to
well,
carry
yeah,
the same amount.
yeah. That's why
of-
they don't like in like MMA. They don't like men fight women because they're
Yeah.
just built differently.
Yeah.
It's an unfair advantage.
And that's one of the main reasons that they put across for worrying about women being in there. So I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what way.
But if
it'll end
women
going.
want to do it, they should be allowed to do it.
yeah, they should
That's what I think.
definitely.
There's no reason why
No.
they can't. They've proven.
Yeah,
that
I
they
know.
can. Some women are just genetically they can do it.
Yeah,
mentally and physically.
Yeah.
And some
definitely.
aren't, and someone want to do it.
Yeah.
So they don't have to.
And they don't need to. Yeah, that's
No.
exactly it.
Well,
Exactly
I don't
it. We'll see if it actually
But,
happens.
how long have we been going? 2 hours.
Have we?
Yeah. Boom.
Hellfire. The mouth's not even sore yet either.
I don't think there's anything else I needed to ask you.
2 hours. Bloody hell.
I
Does
got
this
a
get
lot of
edited out at any point?
No editing.
Oh,
We
so it's
don't-
me
we-
going
we-
bloody hell.
We don't do any editing.
That's
yeah.
alright then.
Try not to. Some people are big on editing. Like they waste time on editing, like
Yeah.
ums and ahs and stuff. And it's like,
But
but
then
this
it'd be
is
less
conversation.
natural then, won't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
You don't want it to be like a robot where you're just like.
I mean, if you have, it depends. You should have the right guests on. Do your research, because
Yeah.
if you've got some bumbling and you're going, you know, this
Yeah.
thing.
It could be a very long 2 hours, couldn't it? If you
Some
had
people
to do
are.
something
Some
like
people are maybe not used to hearing their own voice as much. And they
Yeah.
go, do I sound like that? Do I
Yeah.
say that all the time?
Yeah. It is weird though when you listen to yourself back, isn't it?
Have you had obviously with
Yeah,
With
I used to cringe
media
at the
now, but-
beginning. I did used to cringe, but now I'm just used to hearing it now.
like on the SAS when you heard yourself talking? It's just
Yeah, no, it was
No,
fine.
it's
'Cause
fine.
I'd done the BBC thing a lot by then. And
yeah. So what have you done so far, BBC wise? What else have you done?
So they followed us. They've been on BBC for the Young Farmers Award thing, which so that was Farmers Country Showdown,
Yep.
and then BBC Inside Out
All right. Yeah.
did like a 10-minute feature. So that was aired in like up north and over Newcastle way, and then it was aired northwest, so
Right.
Merseyside, Liverpool, and that. So yeah, so it was because it was weird when I was at Body Power this weekend. All of a sudden, I kept getting all these like followers really quick, and I was like, "What's going on?" And they'd replayed one of the BBC things that night, and everyone's going, "Good luck with the award," and I'm like, "It was last." Like September, like, they've just put it on the telly again. Obviously, they just needed to fill a little bit of a gap in.
Good old BBC.
I know. I was like, this is so weird because I was like, what's going on? And I was going, you're on the telly, and I'm like, I haven't filmed anything to go on the telly yet. Like this might be things in the pipeline, but nothing that's on to go in.
Yeah.
And then someone said it was the award, and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, there's 120 of them all together now, though. So there's definitely too many
Wow.
for names.
So once you started doing all the different jobs, and you started
Mhm.
doing more sheep stuff, then what happened after
Yeah,
that?
so I just kind of start getting connections and like meeting new people, and farming's quite a small community really. So once you kind of establish like a good relationship with one of them, they kind of pass that message on
Yeah.
that you're like decent at what you do and
Reliable and all that,
reliable
yeah.
and yeah. So that just kind of built up from there and then spiraled. And I use the social media stuff to kind of get to know different farmers and different systems and learn quite a lot.
You make it look fun almost.
Yeah, it is fun.
But what was I looking at? When I did some research, in January 2019, the Daily Mail described you as the new face of farming.
Man, they came just for like I did an interview over like on the phone with them, dead easy. But they came to the photos and they were there for 4 hours doing these photos.
God.
And it was freezing. And they wanted like SAS style ones, so they wanted me in my t-shirt with the little sheep on my head like this.
I saw that one. I
Yeah.
was like,
Thankfully, the one they put on had a jacket on in the end. But honestly, I was like there in this white t-shirt because they wanted it white to be clean, even though they wanted it
it's a
farming.
farm.
Honestly, they're so contradictory. I know. And 4 hours they were there in the freeze and got my hands were like ice blue at the end of it. I was like, no. And he's going, oh, how did you survive in Chile? And I was like, I don't know, but this is freezing. So yeah, I've had all sorts. I've been described as, what was the most cringy, horrible one? Flame-haired beauty.
Well, it's a cliche.
I
kind of thing,
nearly,
isn't it? Yeah,
oh no,
yeah.
I nearly was sick when I read it. I was like, oh my God. No, this is not the angle that I'm
Oh.
going for, guys.
But like, who was the old face of farming? That's what I want to know.
No,
I mean,
no idea.
when I think if someone said, if that we say farming, who comes to mind? Like, I can't think of anyone until a few weeks ago. Like, now
Yeah.
it's you.
Yeah, thanks. I'll
But-
go with that.
I can't. Other than like
It's always just a
mainstream, like what's his face off Country File?
Adam Henson.
No, the Blue Peter guy,
Matt Baker.
Matt Baker. Other than that,
Yeah.
there's no one who's like
No.
famous farmers.
No, I know. But there's like James Rebanks around here who does well, and he's wrote
Yeah,
the
that's
books.
true.
But
Like-
you don't see his face very often, though, so no one knows
No,
him.
that's true. There's
massively
no
what
one
he
like
looks like.
celebrity farmer.
No.
It's like celebrity chefs.
Yeah.
You know, celebrity everything.
Yeah.
Should be. Like, that's what what you need to be.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's
But
good.
do you do all aspects of farming?
Mostly just sheep and cows.
Right.
I don't really touch tractors or do arable
Or
whatsoever.
crops or anything like
No,
that.
no, no. I just like the animals.
Cows, that's another. You do
Cows
all
are
that
nice.
mucking out and all that bollocks.
No, because I've got Highland cows, like
Ah,
so
so
they
they
stay outside, so they're really, really, really
Tough
like,
as nails.
yeah. Like, in all the snow, they were like, "What?" I'm
You do all
fine.
the sheep clipping out and all that.
We get people in to do that.
All right, it's a big job.
It's-
Especially if you got 120.
Yeah, well, I mean that's nothing in the grand scheme
yeah,
of
I
things.
suppose
But
so. Yeah.
no, my sister's fiance, he shears, so he does it.
Ah, right.
It's quite nice.
Is wool valuable these days or not?
No, not really. Now you're looking at what it takes to actually get the wool off. You near enough just about cover it in the fleece.
So is wool just not very popular?
It's just not being used anymore. Like we've just got so many kind of like modern day like fabrics and
Synthetic
materials
stuff.
coming in, that,
Right, yeah.
and it's
More
sad.
like a good woolly jumper.
I know, like wool is like some of like the best fabric you can use and the best material you can use. Like it's like warm, it's like flame resistant,
Yeah.
everything. But we're using like horrible stuff that's like killing the environment all the time.
Yeah, and you got
So-
natural wool.
I know, which is we have they grow it anyway.
Because I mean, it gets in like weather like this. You have to cut it off because it just gets too hot for them anyway.
Yeah, completely. Like,
so that's
it's
going to happen anyway.
Yeah, it's
not like
welfare.
a cruelty thing, is
No,
it?
we literally take it off for the welfare. Like if it gets too hot, you find that flies like end up laying eggs in the wool,
right, yeah,
and then the maggots will literally eat
yeah.
the sheep,
Yeah.
and it's absolutely awful. So
I walk in the fells quite a lot.
Uh-huh.
And I've come across a few dead sheep sometimes. It's
yeah,
like, I wonder what happened. It's
I
like,
know. I mean, sheep do really like to die.
just there's another one.
Yeah,
Just
sometimes it's their life ambition is to die. Though I'm not joking.
gone. And I was just thinking, I wonder, like, how old was it? What was it doing when
Yeah.
it died? What happened? What
Give-
happened to you?
Give me
Like
your life
sheep
history.
CSI.
Give me the whole history of your life. Let's go.
I just wonder sometimes because it's like you feel sad, but
I know. It's just.
I hope. I'm guessing. I'm thinking. I hope it wasn't like horrible. Whatever happened to it, or did it just die of old age? Maybe.
It could be anything. Yeah,
Right.
it could be a dog is chased after it if it's on the
Yeah,
fell. Like
yeah,
it could be. There's
yeah.
so many different things it could be. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah.
So when did you finally just decide on sheep then? When did you? Because you were working for somebody else, obviously, when you came
Yeah.
up here. Then when did it sort of change for you then?
So they were mostly sheep anyway. So,
Yeah.
and then everywhere I went, we're so big with sheep farming up here that it just happened that most of the work that I was getting was sheep, and they're easier to work with.
When you say work, what did the people contract you out to do?
Anything from lambing or going on the fells gathering sheep, and we have to do like standard procedures all the way through the year, like worming, like you do your dog and your cat,
like the
and
health side of it. and
yeah,
stuff.
feet and
So when you get them off the fells, is that like before winter?
yeah.
sort of
So
thing?
we'll gather about 4 or 5 times throughout the year. So they go up and down. So winter
Right.
they come off, then they go back on now, just after they've had the lambs. Then they'll come off again for shearing time, go back up.
Right.
Then they'll come off again and take the lambs off and wean them.
Right. Yeah.
Then they go back up. And then they come off again.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's a
So
cycle.
there's loads of different times and reasons that they have to come off the fell.
So I just imagine you going around on a quad with a sheepdog, just going, "Come on."
I mean, I walk.
you walk,
I always
yeah.
get the short straw. But I would so much rather.
Oh yeah, but you're
walk.
gonna get. You're gonna say yeah, so you can walk.
That's the issue. That is the issue. The only thing that, like, the bad side of the SES is everyone's like, well, you've done that now, so you can do whatever. Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
like-
I've got no excuse now to not doing anything. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, when you're always carrying those, what they call them?
What?
The rucksacks on
Oh,
SAS.
them Bergens.
Yeah, Jesus.
They were heavy, you know.
What is it? One of them said they've weighed them down with an extra 20 pounds of sand or something like.
Yeah, but they made us weigh sandbags out and put them in the bag to make it heavier. I was like, are you joking?
Oh, man, extra labour.
Oh, honestly, I literally was having to like grab it with one arm, put it on a shoulder, and literally like fling my whole body to get it on the other side.
Those ones were like, hold it above your head.
Yeah,
Everyone's like,
ooh. Yeah, I know. Do you know that for some reason that's the one thing that I could just zone out on them, and I could literally just lock my arms out and go. And I don't know if it's because of the farming
it
things.
could be
You
a
always,
CrossFit thing.
yeah, and you're always like carrying heavy, random
Yeah.
stuff when you're farming and,
Yeah.
and CrossFitting.
Well, sheep on your head sometimes.
Oh yeah, exactly. Or half of a fell. Right, come here. The amount of times I had to carry one down is just ridiculous.
But I mean, those like all the time. Just every time you're doing something, you seem to be carrying those or
Oh, yeah.
pushing. Oh, that one in
Everywhere.
the water, the freezing cold
Oh,
water.
that was freezing. And that Vicky nearly drowned me at one point. Oh my word of my life.
Yeah, so I did see that. You had to go back in.
Yeah.
And she was like taking you down with her.
Yeah, and then she, bless her, she just panicked and like just plonked her hand on top of mine. And I was like, holy cow! And it was deep.
People,
She
when they have the ventilator, they panic because it's so
yeah,
cold.
and it was so cold. And then it turns out that she had like a swimming accident when she was younger with her sister, and it was kind of pretty much the same situation that happened.
Right.
So in the end, I think 2 of the other lads also jumped in, and the 3 of us kind of dragged her out together.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, so and then Sam had another issue. Like, he was the same. He just panicked in the water.
It's the cold. It just kind of takes over.
Yeah,
And that's what they're trying to teach you. Is
Yeah.
to just stay calm. Just
yeah, because we went on that first day, we went in the waterfall and had to stay underneath the shoulders. That was like the first kind of like realization of actually how cold it was. And they were like shouting like, shout your number, shout your name, and you went to shout and like nothing was coming out. I was like, it's like, I can't fucking hear you. I was like, oh, I'm trying to shout.
So was there anything that didn't get on the show that you were sort of disappointed that they didn't show?
There was a couple of like little biggest team tasks that didn't get on. Do you know like the accommodation? How it's the like semicircle things?
Yeah.
We had to like get over that as a team of 4, but with no kind of
No ropes
equipment.
or
No, so yeah, to literally like ladder
supporting
it.
each other up.
Yeah, so I had to like ladder it and then try and pull the next one up. There was 1, 2, 3. 3 I had to get over and then I had to get back over them again. And they put them in teams of like 4. And
They're quite big.
they were big. We had 3 people stood on each shoulders at one point. Poor Mark was at the bottom of our team, and like I was on top of his shoulders, and I was like, I am absolutely squishing him to death. I was like, felt so bad for him. But no, they did put everything on. They just sometimes it was
edited.
it was just shortened so much, and it was hard to kind of show you guys the extent of how long the stuff actually went on for.
Yeah, I do think about things like that when I watch, especially a lot of like reality, normal reality, not that, but reality TV was like edited and it's like it does affect the overall product.
Oh yeah, because I've watched it like all the time before, and I was so obsessed with it, and I was like, do you know what? It'll be absolutely solid, but you can manage it. And then I got there, and I was like, you have no idea like how much you actually do. It's like the beastings in the middle of the night, like they come and wake you up, or we had to do like a guard cover overnight every night. They never showed any of that.
So someone had to be take turns
sitting outside in the snow under this little canopy for an hour each night, like so. And then
you go for an hour, and then somebody else would go.
Yeah. So even when you weren't out, you were worrying like no one would wake you up to go out. Yeah, and then you were having to like you come back in, and then you'd be worried that they were going to come and smash through the door at any time, and it was just constantly on your toes. Like you would never get more than like 3-4 hours sleep max every night.
Wow.
So
which for you wasn't that big a deal.
I mean, yeah. In the end, I was like literally trying to like even on the wagons, and it was so bumpy. I was like this trying to sleep.
I'm trying to not fall. Does it not have a go at you if you say you're falling asleep?
Well, thankfully they're not in there, and they can't really see at this point.
Right.
But so that's the kind of time you can kind of talk and be like, oh my god, that was ridiculous. So, but in the end, I think by the time we got to the end, everyone would literally just go to sleep in there because it was so tiring.
But it's a shame that they just had to cut it so much.
I know they should make it longer.
Television.
I know
There's
they
so
should.
Much more. It would show that not just you guys, but the process overall in a better light if they could show it the extent of things more.
Yeah, completely.
And get into people's stories more because I felt, especially the first couple of episodes, you were just being shown so much stuff.
Yeah.
And then you'd sort of meet one person, and then you go to another task, and you meet another person. It's just like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it was hard to get to know everyone, wasn't it? And there was because there's 25 people there, and like trying to get everybody, it's just a nightmare.
And people just getting cold.
They were going
quickly, just faster as it went on.
Yeah, I know. So we were all quite stubborn, really. No one would really withdraw that. Well, there won't be that many that withdraw. Maybe 3 or 4 people. The rest were like all called
and then
out.
They got to the bit of who do you trust the least?
Yeah.
Who did you say? Did they ask you that?
Yeah. That's
on
the telly that. Tracy. So I had a little panic then, the one with the teardrop.
Oh, right, yeah.
So this day, this is so, like, I had a little panic. So who do you trust the least, or who do you think's? I was like, oh no, who do you think? He literally said to me, he like got behind my ear and there, and he went, who do you? Can you swear on this?
Yes.
Can you? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's like, who do you think is the biggest shit cunt in here? And I was like, and he was there like this devil behind me, and I was like, oh my god! And I was looking at everyone like, you're joking? Like, why did you have to change the words for mine? So then I said Tracy, and then we got to the boxing bit that night. And,
you weren't on that.
No, well, I did do it.
Everyone did it, but they only showed like 3 or 4 people.
But I thought she's a bit of a semi-pro boxer, and I thought, oh my word, she's like pick me and like smash my face in. Like, and I've never thrown a punch before, never had a fight before, like proper lover, not a fighter kind of person. And it's the one thing that I dreaded more than anything. Like, give me a bridge to jump off any day, and I would have jumped off it like 20 times, backwards, forwards, flip, whatever.
Yeah.
But when it got to the boxing, I absolutely just lost it a little bit in my head for the first time. And I thought she was going to pick me, but thankfully she'd fell out with somebody else, I think. and then she didn't pick me because I was like, oh my God.
So who did you end up fighting?
Esme, she was like the small blonde girl with the curly hair.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Which is hard because we were both like really good mates. She's probably the one I got on best with most in there.
They're telling you, you've got to go for it.
Yeah, and I like Foxy was putting my like thing on him, a stupid rubbish mouth guard, and I was like, I can't do this. And he went, you just got to go and just smash it. I was like, God, smash him in the face. Oh my God.
Well, every time that you get to a situation like you either do it or you hand us your armband.
Exactly.
So
you had no choice. You just had to do it. And then I hit her in the face, and I just remember hitting her in the face going, oh my God, just hit her in the face. Like, what's happening? And then that night they called me into the mirror room for the first time. Then I thought, oh, hellfire, I've blown it again. And they're like, we don't think you gave it 110%. I was like, well, if you gave me a stranger to fight, then I probably would have smacked them a lot harder, yeah. But like we spent the whole time like literally trying to like be busy mates, and like you keep telling us we have to look out for each other and like be best friends, and then all of a sudden you want us to punch him in the face, like which do you want us to do? And so they were quite understanding of it, but I mean, yeah, that was the worst thing underneath interrogation.
Because that's probably because of my part that's least you.
Yeah, so not me. I just like. I got these boxing gloves on, and literally all I was thinking in my head was I should have got Mike to punch me in the face, my boyfriend. So I should have just got him to punch me in the face.
I need to know what it feels like.
I know. I was like, he's done this all the time. I was like, if I knew what it felt like and what I was expecting, I think.
Did she hit you?
Did Esme?
Yeah. Did she hit you?
Yeah.
Were you both just going?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and that's probably why they didn't put it on telly, because it probably looked shit. It's literally just like both our eyes closed, like I can't see.
It's like when people find those little bags.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, it's probably embarrassing to the special forces world.
Do you just do that whole thing and then come home and just sort of forget about it for a while?
Yeah, it was very hard coming home. You know, like it was super hard to adjust. I was like, I'd gone from like really, really loving my life and my job and what I did, and then all of a sudden I came home to like a little bit of a...
It's like rocked you, hasn't it?
Yeah, so I was like, you've gone from being on such high adrenaline all the time and low and highs and low and highs, and then buzzing that you came out and you got so far, and then I got home and I was like, now what? You're like waiting for someone to smash the door. You were like...
Someone's going to call you and say like, doing this now.
Yeah, I was just like, what am I going to do? I was like, I was going around my sheep and I was like, I want to jump off something. I want to do something. So it took a long time to like adjust back into it, really.
So why did you tell people that you'd gone for 2 weeks?
I mean, some people.
Right, okay.
Not that many.
Some people just haven't got on holiday.
Yeah, my mom ran my Twitter account for me the whole time because I thought, well, 15,000 people will be like, well, where the hell's she gone for 2 weeks? Yeah, I never go off it. I always at least post like a picture or something every day.
So did you line up some pictures in advance?
Yeah, literally I said, right, Mum, here's the pictures. I was like, do not like go off these pictures. Do not argue with anybody. Do not talk to vegans. Or promote like.
Do you normally interact with people who comment on stuff?
Yeah, sometimes.
Which platform do you use the most?
It's changing now. Probably going more towards the Instagram one.
Right.
There's more conversation going on there. Twitter, there is quite a lot. There is still conversation going on there, but visually, Instagram's better now.
You do your stories.
The stories gives people a little glimpse really quickly.
Yeah.
I don't like putting like loads of like average photos on. I like to put like good ones on, like more like less regularly kind of things.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I had to just keep her on there with strict instructions of.
That's brilliant.
I know, and then she started putting things on. Like she started improvising then. Which I didn't see till I came
Mothers
home.
who improvise.
I know. When I came home, she's going, who puts jam or cream on scones first? I went, since when would I ever ask that tweet? How do you make damson gin? I was like, we all know how to make damson gin. Like, why are you putting that on there?
We've all got Google.
I know. I was just like, this is so not me. But no one clicked, so it was fine. It obviously worked. But yeah, I mean, everybody else, they kind of just thought I'd gone away for a little bit, I think, or... Sometimes I don't see that many people though when I'm contracting.
That's true.
There'd be like a small number of people I actually see, or the important people knew where I was going.
Yeah.